Ladies and gentlemen, how is it that Trump tops 52% best job approval rating on record? This is the Washington Examiner. How is this even possible? How is it possible that you have a poll, I don't care if it's just one poll, in this environment where media, the corrupt intelligence officials, when we know one was just indicted, Kleinsmith, by the Durham probe, how is it possible? In the comments section, please explain how this is possible. I'm voting for President Trump. If you're watching this channel, you're probably voting for President Trump. He's virtually tied in battleground states and swing states, which is what I said a long time ago. I said the polls are absolutely meaningless. The closer it gets to the election, the better Trump will do, and the more the polls eventually reflect reality. Reality is that President Trump is a lot more popular, and a lot more people around the country approve of President Trump than the media would have you believe. But here, buoyed by black and independent voters as well as urban dwellers, shocked by unrest, President Trump's approval rating has hit a new high according to a survey heavy with minority voters. The latest Zogby Analytics poll just shared had Trump's approval rating at 52%. 52%. The president has recorded his best job approval rating on record, said pollster Jonathan Zogby. What's more, his approval rating among minorities was solid, and in the case of African Americans, shockingly high. Zogby said 36% of blacks approve of the president, as do 37% of Hispanics and 35% of Asians. Approval among independent voters is also up to 44%. And intriguingly, said Democrats, 23% of Democrats approve of Trump. So, you can, let's just say the poll is not entirely accurate. Let's say it's just 44% or 42%. Let's say the margin of error is 10 points. You have Hollywood, all of media, like all of media is an extension of the Democratic Party. You have all of Hollywood. You have every late night talk show host doing their best to give these sermons and preach and give these nauseating diatribes on how society should act and how people should think. And it's like, suddenly all these people grew a conscience. Every problem we have as a society, we had, in many cases, they were worse under President Obama. But you never heard the left or Democrats or media or Hollywood celebrities talk about these issues. Rarely you did, rarely. Now they're obsessed with teaching you how you should react and how you should live your lives, yes, and giving you an understanding of what's really going on. We can go on forever. President Trump has reversed U.S. foreign policy, hopefully forever. He's setting the groundwork to bring home Americans. He's stopped funding rebels, which was a long-standing endeavor during President Obama's administration in regions of the world. He signed a deal to end our involvement in America's longest-running military conflict. That was in late February, early March. He signed the First Step Act, which is criminal justice reform. Trump is a really bad racist. He's really bad at bigotry. If he signed criminal justice reform, and he's allocated more funding to historically black colleges and universities than any president ever, including President Obama in his first term. Then you have the first president to step foot in North Korea and begin a serious paradigm-changing détente between North and South Korea. That never happened before. For years and years and years, Kim Jong-un was always in the news. And now you don't hear media or the foreign policy hawks saying, oh my God, we're on the brink of disaster anymore. So yeah, it wasn't just a photo op. President Moon Jae-in of South Korea stated that Trump deserved the Nobel Peace Prize. I'll trust President Moon Jae-in a lot more than I will, infinitely more, 1,000,000 times more than I will any journalist in the United States of America that just has a vendetta against Trump. So the Zogby poll has President Trump at 52%. Now you have swing states, battleground states, where Trump nearly tied with Biden in 15 state battleground polls. A CNN poll conducted August 12th to 15th found that among registered voters living in 15 battleground states, Trump had 48% support, and the presumptive Democratic nominee had 49% support. So, and this was August 17th, before the Zoom meeting, before Biden accepted the Zoom meeting nomination, which will eventually be Hillary Clinton will be on that debate stage. I will have made the biggest political call of all time. By the way, every evening, be here on my live streams around 9:30 p.m. Pacific. We reach 600 viewers pretty much every evening, and we're on our way to 1,000 viewers, but it's the best late evening live stream in all of YouTube when it comes to politics. And so you gotta again, in context, I only have approaching 150,000 subs on this channel, and then H.A. Goodman's other channel, I have 15,000 subs, almost 16,000. So my channel this one is relatively small in the overall scheme of things. To get 600 viewers in the evening, that's pretty awesome. So we have a good time. I do impressions. What can I tell you? It's fun. I have the best chat. I have the best moderators. So if you have nothing to do this evening, be here at 9 p.m. Pacific to enjoy the live streams. But so you have and also if you want to support my voice long term, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have $20 million in venture capital funding like some people do. And if you want to support my voice, my Patreon is below. But ladies and gentlemen, how is this possible? You have the most disgruntled, fanatical, hysterical, apoplectic people calling up friends and family saying, I can't be your friend. I can't be close to you anymore. I can't talk to you because you're voting for Trump. It's like, well, you voted for President Obama. Did you do that because you wanted to destroy Libya? Did you do that because you wanted to deceive people in Flint? President Obama drank Flint water when it was poisonous. Could you imagine Trump doing that? The outrage, the vitriol, the people pontificating. It's like this is going to be an election. President Trump's going to win. So that's no matter what happens. I will have made a very good call regarding that because all of media. 538 says the current challenger has a 70% chance to win. You've had other ones like all of these polling experts, smart strategic polling experts saying that let's see. They've been giving Biden which is hilarious, an 89% chance, The Economist, 89% chance to win. Biden, if they're so inept that they go with Biden, he will lose miserably. And now they're finding out, because Hillary Clinton will be on that debate stage, and I will have made the biggest call on that one. But let's say I'm wrong. It'll be disappointing to me, but thank God. I'll breathe a sigh of relief, because the only person that could even get close to defeating Trump is Clinton. But Biden... Biden, they go with Biden, and it's you type in Trump polls swing states, you get fewer voters say they're voting by mail amid uproar over USPS changes. Okay, so you're going to have fewer voters, swing state voters, slowly but surely moving to Trump. CNBC, and then Washington Examiner. Washington Times, Trump approval ticks up across 6 battleground states. And so, National Review, Trump makes gains in battleground states as concerns over pandemic diminish. Democrats have only fear and loathing and contempt and vitriol. And you cannot... I'm voting for President Trump to reverse U.S. foreign policy, which is what he's doing. He is anti-regime change, anti-interventionist. This is what I'm voting for. I want American soldiers home with their families. I don't want Americans in regions of conflict forever. No, this is not Germany and Japan. This is not, you can't, the Democrats and media, they don't care. They don't care if American soldiers are off in regions of conflict forever. It started with WMD, which is one of the litany of intelligence community catastrophes, from the Bay of Pigs to the Gulf of Tonkin to Facebook ads, and prior to this, obviously, Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld failed foreign policy. That now you have McCain and Romney staffers. The two. Okay, this is hilarious. You have two losing candidates and their staffers supporting Biden. It'll be Clinton eventually, but whatever. Who cares? That's the reason President Trump won. They are so clueless. They are so oblivious to reality. The reality is there's a reason that that Romney and McCain staffers are voting Democrat. When I was writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, and so on, and I said there's no difference between both parties on the main issues. On foreign policy, there's really no difference. I think foreign policy is the biggest, most pressing issue we face as a country, like our failed foreign policy for the past 20 years. Sending Americans off, and also the unintended consequences of lives ruined in other countries not because of the soldiers, but because of the civilians. Civilians in both political parties. That's why I'm voting for President Trump. In addition to everything else he's doing, we had record low unemployment. Then they said, well, it would have happened under President Obama. Well, he would have cut taxes also? How does that work? They have a very, very tenuous grasp of basic logic. Basic logic. And they keep on saying 170,000 people have lost their lives. Almost 40,000 people have lost their lives in two Democratic-run states, New York and New Jersey. It's not President Trump's fault. These are run by Democrats. From the senators to the governors to the mayors. Those are Democratic Party machines. Then you look at Illinois, Democratic Party machine. Then you look at what's taking place in Wisconsin. That's a blue state. It voted for President Trump, but that's a blue state. You look at what took place in Minnesota and Minneapolis. Another blue state. Democrats have no message. Okay, they talk about systemic injustices. How many people did Kamala Harris incarcerate unjustly? There were 1,000 cases that had to be thrown out because of a crime lab scandal that took place while she was she Attorney General? No, she was city attorney at that point, I think. Or maybe she was Attorney General, I'm not sure. But 1,000 cases had to be thrown out because the crime lab in Northern California, one of the technicians was taking home the narcotics and using it for personal use. So then you have Joe Biden, who wrote the crime bill, and Bill Clinton and Madam Secretary, who pushed for it. Signed it, and then Madam Secretary pushed for it, used the super predator comment while she was justifying the crime bill. Then took prison lobbyist money in 2016. Then they said, well, she gave it to charity. I mean, they never accept the fact they're hypocrites. And they have painted the meltdown on November 3rd. You have to be here on this channel and H.A. Goodman's other channel. You have to, because the meltdown, the monumental and biblical epic meltdown from people who have painted a reality that doesn't exist, it all stems from their arrogance and hubris. They're overly confident because they truly believe they're morally and intellectually superior. They're going to lose again to President Trump. And Trump supporters of all different backgrounds, faiths, ethnicities, races, everyone likes Trump. Everyone likes Trump. the media and Democrats have this viewpoint. I don't say, obviously, everyone doesn't like Trump, but a great percentage, there's like a silent base, or not a base, but like the average American doesn't really have strong opinions, the same vitriol towards Trump. If they don't like Trump, it's because, they just don't like his personality, but they don't view him as this creature from another universe. Democrats have painted this view that if you vote for Trump, there's something wrong about you as a human being. This is not reality. The reality is he's going to get reelected. The reality is we have the Electoral College, just like Democrats have their state primaries. Democrats don't have the popular vote. They have state primaries. We don't have the popular vote in this country. We have the Electoral College. And they learned nothing after 4 years. And they didn't indict anyone on working with Russia. And if anything, the Mueller probe vindicated Trump beyond belief. Because they found no evidence of anything. Because all the evidence was linked to Clinton, who will eventually be on that debate stage. But ladies and gentlemen, they're going to lose again. And their world is going to come crashing down. The world that they created. President Trump is not the person, the human being that they've created. And I saw this take place when he was running. They tried to do this with Bernie Sanders. I mean, the Washington Post ran an article in 2015 saying, free college, free tuition is not about education, it's about control. They tried to do the same thing with Bernie. Bernie doesn't fight back, and then Bernie became part of the same machine that silenced him and cheated him. They've spent 4 years now, actually 5 years since 2015, painting Trump as a racist, a bigot, a xenophobe, a monster, a person with no morals. And you know who's spreading these myths? Bill Clinton. People like Bill Clinton, people like Hollywood directors and celebrities. People who, who would make Sodom and Gomorrah look like, a new ride at Disneyland. And so you're looking at the biggest hypocrites on the planet. These are the people who are judging Trump. The people, Eric Schneiderman, who had to resign because he, we would have to go into it. What is his name? All of these people. You have people in Hollywood. Why am I? You have, oh my God, Al Franken. He resigned. You have all of these people being forced to resign. Then you have Avenatti, who's did himself in. You have Michael Cohen, who turned and tried to flip, but he was committing criminal acts. I mean, you go up against Trump. Trump is like a mirror to all these people. Then you have Kleinsmith, who was indicted by John Durham, and you'll have more people indicted. But I mean, there's a litany. Oh, then you have Justin Fairfax, a Democrat in Virginia. You have the Virginia governor. You have all these people who, and then you have Tara Reid with Joe Biden. These are not the people that you should listen to. You should just use basic logic. Did Trump say both sides? No, he didn't. Did he mean to say that the bigots and the racists were good people? No, he didn't. He never needed to say that, nor did he say that. Everything is a dog whistle to Democrats because they can't get him on what he actually says, so they create and fabricate. Then they fact-check him obsessively to the point of absurdity. But they don't use that when Hillary Clinton says that Tulsi Gabbard is a Russian operative. They don't say Clinton, without evidence, claims Tulsi Gabbard's a Russian operative. They say, Clinton suggests. It's a suggestion. That with anything hyperbolic that Trump says, it's like, oh my God, pants on fire. Oh my God, 25 Pinocchios. Oh my God, a post-truth moment. And everything's a calamity. They're hysterical and seething and fuming and apoplectic all the time. They have no grasp of basic logic. They literally, a lot of them are they're such imbeciles, they really think that they're fighting 1930s and 1940s Germans. Because they can't deal with reality. The reality is President Trump's a good president, or he just does things differently from the establishment left and right. So deal with it. You know what? Deal with it. You're going to have 8 years of this man. You're going to have 8 years of this man, and if you're on the left, just look in the mirror. There's 2 reasons why President Trump's going to win again. One, he's a great president, or he's a good president. He's not a horrible president. It's not true at all. We had record low unemployment, and the pandemic, 2 states, New York and New Jersey, almost 40,000 people have lost their lives, and if you add about 6 or 7 more states, all Democratic run, you get over half of the lives lost. Jim Carrey painted this like obscene picture of a Trump supporter with a MAGA hat on a respirator. The underlying message was, oh, look at, Trump supporters are losing their lives because of Trump. The people in aggregate, Democratic governors and mayors have lost the most people in this country to the pandemic because the entire political party was trying to oust President Trump right before the pandemic hit. They impeached Trump before the pandemic, then complained about his leadership. That's the Democratic Party for you. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Be here tonight at around 9 p.m., 9:30 p.m. Pacific. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. It's happening, folks, slowly but surely. President Trump's going to win re-election. Now it's just, if my prediction eventually is going to take place, Clinton is going to be nominated because she's the only chance they have. She's by far a better candidate than Biden, and the whole thing's been a charade. I don't trust the Democratic Party as far as I can throw Jerry Nadler. Give me your thoughts below. Thank you so very much. Be here at around 9 p.m. Pacific for my live streams. Thank you so very much.